how can organizations still make progress, even though they're losing those resources to be able to bring folks in and bring candidates in? JB, want to start with you here.
Sure. I think, and first of all, I hope we're not seeing as much of this as it felt like we were going to see a couple weeks ago. So there are a lot of hiring freeze, a lot of downsizing, and oftentimes within healthcare organizations, we see that within talent acquisition, HR, marketing, IT, the non-clinical roles, the I guess, mission critical to the day-to-day, but certainly critical to the long-term success. So number one, I hope that trend is not holding like it was a couple weeks ago. But if you find yourself either in an understaffed TA situation or in a recently smaller team than you did before, it's important to begin to, number one, optimize the technology that is at your fingertips. So ideally, it's invest in technology that's going to help stretch your team and automate a lot more of the process that your team is following. But most likely, if we're pulling the reins back, the funds aren't there to invest in tech. Although, and I see this all the time, I bet you're underutilizing the technology that you have right now. So dig into your applicant tracking system, your HRIS, and make sure that the automations that have been added over the last few years in these systems are actually being used, that those check boxes and the workflows are built out. And so that's some internal investment to really build out that process where it's more smooth. The other thing is really invest in partnerships. So in those mission critical areas, and right now there's a lot of laboratory technicians, radiology, imaging technicians, surgical technicians, tele-nurses, med-surg nurses. These are these mission critical departments that happen to be some of the most requested searches that we get right now. On a one-off basis, and AMN can do this for you, partner with an agency, a partner that can go out and fill those really mission critical radiology technicians and lab technicians so you can continue on and focus on some of these other things that we've talked about.
That supports the whole organization at the end of the day. Again, coming back to a holistic view piece. Jim, what's your perspective on this?
Yeah, very similar. So, I put together about 5, key thoughts on it, and JB hit probably 3 or 4 of those. So
he stole them from you.
So same approach. But going back to what Brian said, number one I had was really through data, right? Being able to prioritize where are those areas, those units really in service lines to focus on areas of important. I want to touch on again, leveraging strategic alliances, technology. So the automation, AI, screening tools, centralized ATS, CRMs, all of that, where you get data from, right? That allows you to have manage and measurable actions. And then the other two, which I think are different, is one is the shared ownership across departments. So we are seeing a push, and we brought it up throughout this discussion today, of hiring outcomes, not just from HR, but really operations, nursing, and finance. Right, so creating better alignment and faster decisions amongst those key stakeholders and that shared ownership. It's not just an HR or a TA issue, right? It's organizational and it's operational. And then the other one I had was really just reassessing their internal processes. So finding the ways to really tighten up internal processes, reducing approvals, refining job descriptions, right, clarifying position control, and eliminating slowdowns to drive faster time and throughput. So again, that's not really that much of an aha, but sometimes we forget about doing the basics and going back to the basics to be able to provide additional efficiencies and optimization.